Welcome to one of the pivotal lectures and demonstrations of this course. We spent the last 3 weeks discussing the Turabian format. Now I will show you how to use the power of Microsoft Word to properly format your paper. You will need to print out the document Quick Tips for Using MS Word, which looks like this, and you will need to download the MS Word template for Turabian papers, which I will have to demonstrate because it can be tricky the first time you do this. I created the Tribune Template because I am basically lazy, and I did not want to recreate the wheel each time I had to write a research paper. Realizing how tricky some of the formatting can be, I decided to distribute copies to other students. This is the result. Now to download the template, click on the file. I'm using Chrome as my browser. A download option appears in the lower left-hand portion of the screen. Click on the down arrow, select Show in Folder, and when your Downloads folder opens, locate the file. Hover over the file name and right-mouse click to open the menu options. You will want to copy and paste the file onto your computer. I suggest you have a copy you use and a copy as a backup for when things go wrong. There is a trick to opening a template. You don't want to just double-click on the file name and open the document, which is the same as selecting New. This will open a copy of the template, a new document based on the template entitled Document 1 or Document 2, etc. Do not confuse this with opening the actual template. Instead, you want to select Open. The document name will be the template's name. A word of caution. Any changes you make in the template itself are permanent and will affect every document you create based upon the template. I suggest you only change information that is unchanging, like your name and your student box number, if you have one, on the title page, and the year and your name in the copyright statement page, and the Bible versions if you use the same version consistently. Once you have made the unchanging changes to your template, you are ready to open a copy. The first thing you can do is type in your paper's title. You will notice the strange box. This is a content control, and it will automatically put the title in all caps, without you having to use Shift or Caps Lock. Next, type in the assignment type, the professor's name, and the course name and number. Use the calendar to set the due date of the assignment. Quick tip number 1 is the Show Hide icon, which is a toggle switch that shows you the paragraph marks, the backward P's, tab indents, which are arrows, and other formatting symbols, like spaces, which are small dots, or round circles, which tells me that this was cut and pasted from a website. These marks, however, do not show when you print out the document. I always turn on this feature when using Word, and I will use it when I read your papers. Using the tools provided by Word is important. Word is not a typewriter, so don't use it like one. Next is the Page Layout tab, quick tip number 3. In the Page Setup dialog box, you will see that the margins are set to 1 inch, which is default. Orientation of the paper can either be portrait, the page is vertical, or landscape, the page is horizontal. Under the Layout subtab, vertical alignment allows you to control the direction of the text. This allows the text to run from the top to the bottom of the page, the default, from the center in both directions, such as the title page, or you can type the text up from the bottom of the page, for example, the scripture and copyright notice. The most important dialog box in Word controls the paragraph. Quick tip number 4. Under Indentation Special, the first line is indented by 1/2 inch for paragraphs, or as a hanging indent by 1/2 inch for citations in a bibliography. The line spacing can be single or double spacing, and you can control the spacing before or after a paragraph by points. If you need to have a specific spacing, such as a 2-inch top margin for the paper title at the beginning of the body of the paper, you can change the spacing before a paragraph to inches. In the box, type 1 inch. Microsoft Word will convert it to 72 points. To make this work, the page before the major heading must have a section break. I'll tell you more on that later. The format for the footnotes is also controlled by the paragraph dialog box. The first line is indented, it is single-spaced, and there are 12 points after the citation, which is the spacing between the footnotes. You will notice that many of the features in the open paragraph dialog box are available as icons from the Home tab. You do not have to retype text if it is in the wrong case. The Change Case icon, quick tip number 5, will convert that for you. You can choose sentence case, the first word capitalized, lowercase, uppercase, or each word capitalized. Highlight the text you want to convert, select the uppercase lowercase a icon, and choose the desired case. How Microsoft Word deals with the formatting of text is imposed by a style. Quick tip number 6. The most common style is normal. When you start a Turabian paper, make sure that normal is set to Times New Roman, 12-point, double-spaced, and in the paragraph dialog box, the first line is indented by a 1/2 inch. If this is not correct, right-click on the normal style, select Modify, and make the changes. Styles are also useful when you want to set the subheadings of your paper. This will also help generate a table of contents. You can easily apply or change the format of a subheading by clicking on it and then clicking on the desired style. Now I'm going to type in the word Introduction, which is the first level subheading. The style is Heading 1. And a second level subheading, Style, Heading 2. Section and page breaks, quick tip number 7, control how the different sections and pages of a paper interact. This is especially important for the 2-inch top margins and for being able to control page numbers. A page break is useful when you want to start text on a new page. It gives you more control than hitting the Enter key until a new page appears. You can also create a page break by using Control-Enter. A section break can do 2 things. Create a new section on a page, continuous like columns, or create a new section on a new page. Creating sections in papers is useful when you want to do things in one section that will not continue through to the next, such as page numbering. Imagine your paper as a series of linked containers. The section break next page helps you control what information has to remain contained on that page and what can continue to the next section. Quick tip number 8 is about footers. Footers are located in the lower part of the page within the margin area. They contain the page numbers. To access the footer, click on the Insert tab, then Footer, and then down to Edit Footer. Under the Design tab, make changes to the footer. If there is an indentation, remove it so that the page number will be centered. You can use the Previous Section and Next Section buttons to navigate between sections. The footer note on the lower left of the page will indicate the current section. Click on the Link to Previous button to link or unlink the sections of the paper. The Link to Previous button is a toggle switch, meaning you can turn it on and off. The same as Previous note in the lower right hand will indicate whether the current section is linked to the previous section. Its absence indicates there is no link. If there is no link, you can change the page number format from Roman to Arabic. By checkmarking the Different First Page button, this allows you to start page numbering on the title page, but hides the page number from displaying on the title page. Next is formatting page numbers. Quick tip number 9. You can add a page number from the Header Footer Design tab or from Insert and then Page Number. If your paper requires two numbering formats, such as Arabic and Roman, make sure that you have reviewed the information about section and page breaks. Format the page number before you insert it into the paper. Select Page Number, Format Page Numbers. In the Format Page Numbers dialog box, select the number format, either Roman or Arabic, and the page numbering, either start at a specific number or continue from a previous section. This depends on where you are in your paper. Sometimes the document will not behave and you will have to start the numbering at 0. To insert page numbers, quick tip number 10, go to the Home tab, click on the center text icon in the paragraph box. Go back to Design or Insert and select Page Number. Select Current Position and then Plain Number. Go to Next or Previous section and repeat the step. Formatting footnotes is quick tip number 11. There are a few tricks that you can use to format your footnotes. This should save you time and hassle. First, you add a footnote by leaving your cursor at the end of the quote or paraphrase, clicking on the References tab, and then on Insert Footnote. The formatting might not be right at this point. Ignore it for now. We can change them all globally in quick tip number 13. As you type your paper, add the citation to the bibliography, then use the author's last name, comma, page number for the footnote. If you have more than one work with the same author, include a word or two of the title. You never want to manually insert a space between your footnotes by using Enter. When you have the paper written and all the footnotes added, you can globally change the formatting. There are 5 steps to quickly format all your footnotes all at once. Indent the first line, single space each footnote, and double space between the footnotes. First, change view from print layout to draft, and the footnotes will disappear. Second, from the References tab, click on Show Notes. The footnotes will open in a separate frame. It is in this frame that all the global formatting changes will take place. 3. Highlight all the footnotes to make the changes. Click into the footnote area. Use Ctrl and the letter A to select all the text. 4. Open the Paragraph dialog box. Go back to the Home tab. Open the Paragraph dialog box. Under Indentation, select First Line, 1/2 inch. For line spacing, select Single. And for spacing, select After 12 points. Also make sure that the font is Times New Roman 10 points. Number 5, to return to the regular screen, go to the View tab, click on Print Layout, and the footnote screen will close. Another trick for formatting footnotes is to briefly convert them to endnotes. Quick tip number 12. This will allow you to view all the notes on one page, and to make sure that the first instance is the full footnote. Go to the References tab, click Open Footnote Endnote dialog box, and select Convert to Endnotes. Scroll down to the endnotes and review the list. When you are done, go back to the Footnote dialog box and convert them back to footnotes. A split window, quick tip number 15, is really useful. You can examine and edit 2 sections of a paper at the same time, like the introduction and the conclusion, or a footnote in the bibliography. Under the View tab, select Split. A line will appear in the middle of the screen. It will set down when you click on your mouse. You can move the line up and down at any time. 2 sections of the paper are now visible. Use the scroll bars to move the correct sections you want to examine. Any changes you make to either side of the split will affect the whole document. The split button acts like a toggle switch. To undo, click on the Remove Split button. When you are ready to format your bibliography, you can highlight all the citations. Click on the Paragraph dialog box. Under Indentation, select the hanging indent by 1/2 inch. Next, for line spacing, choose single, and spacing after the paragraph, 12 points. Microsoft Word has an alphabetizing feature. Quick tip number 14. This is great for your bibliography. You can just add new citations to the bottom of the list and let the program put them in order. Highlight the text. From the Home tab, go to the paragraph box and click on the A to Z icon. Typically, when I get student bibliographies and I turn on the Show Hide icon, I see this. Students using Word like a typewriter. It all looks good until you see the actual formatting. Instead of using the hanging indent and word wrap, students hit Enter at the end of each line, which is evident from the backward P's, and use the Tab key to indent and then make everything single-spaced. If you format your bibliography this way, you won't be able to use the sort feature, which sorts based upon paragraphs. Instead, you will get a complete mess, and you will work twice as hard to achieve it than if you use the tools that Word provides. You can remove the hyperlink for a URL by clicking on the link, right-mouse clicking for the pop-up menu, and selecting Remove Hyperlink. To break a long URL in a citation, place a space using the space bar before a punctuation mark to make the word wrap function smoothly. Quick tip number 16 concerns creating your table of contents. The key to creating a table of contents is by properly formatting your subheadings using the styles. Your template already has a table of contents, so all you need to know is how to update it. To update your table of contents, you can click on the contents and the text will be shaded gray. Right-mouse click on the text and select Update Field. This will add your new subheadings properly indented based upon the heading level and include the accurate page numbers. You will need to change the capitalization of the bibliography by highlighting the word and going to the Change Case icon, selecting first lowercase and then sentence case. For some reason, capitalization of each word does not work. Use the Review tab, quick tip number 17, to make comments about and track changes to the text. You can use this when you are editing your own work or someone else's. To make comments, highlight the area that needs work, click on New Comment, and type in what you want to say in the red shaded area on the right. You can navigate between the comments using Previous and Next. To delete a comment, click on the comment box in the shaded area on the right, and then click on the Delete button in the Comments box. To hide but not delete the comments, change the Final Showing Markup in the drop-down menu to Final. Clicking on the Print Preview shows that we have the beginnings of a properly formatted paper. Remember to use the quick tips for using MS Word and the SCS Turabian Guide with your Turabian Word template.